Alright, Katie. This is gonna suck. I have a report! Seriously, this guy shows up so often, you'd think they'd bother giving him an actual face and name. We have detected traces of nomalium from the teapot. You can't be serious! It's just like Mr. Edgeworth said. Looks like he's once again the only competent person here. Although oddly, I mean, we're living in a world where Gumshoe is super helpful now, so that's something. Darn it! Mr. Edgeworth take the title of the best from me again? Mr. Best, you've literally never had it to begin with. It seems like you have an obsession about being the best. But when you're on a case, winning and losing is of no importance. What are you saying? Obviously, it's best to be the best at everything. If you can't understand that, then you have no business being a prosecutor. How dare you make fun of this incredibly incompetent doofus? Please stop harassing Sebastian. Sebastian, a person of your caliber has no need to listen to such things. Why are you this way, Justine? Yeah, you're right. Please leave this to me. Oh boy, why don't you go check on the victim's condition? Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll be right back then. All right, I'll be waiting. Judge Courtney is much more troublesome than Mr. DeBest. Yeah, by about a factor of about 300 billion. And again, 300 billion times 0. Well then, time to threaten violence. Miss Curator, can you tell us why nomalium was discovered in the teapot? I was not aware that it contained such a chemical. I suppose it may have been an ingredient from the detergent I had used. So you're saying that you did not put it in deliberately? No, of course not. There's no way for me to have known how to create the poison gas. I shall dance for you. Objection! That's a load. Despite being a former actress, it seems you're not very good at lying. What do you mean? I mean, you have a hell of a tell, let's just say that much. The Angel's recipe in your possession, and the method to create the poison gas is contained inside that recipe book. So you must have known how to create it. Surprised you knew about that. Miss Curator, is that true? It's true that information about poison gas is contained in one of the recipes. However, just because I saw it doesn't mean that I was responsible for the crime. Could you tell me what set off the poison gas? It was caused by the victim heating the lid of the glass case with a burner. I see. If he locked himself in that room of his own will and then set off the poison gas, wouldn't that suggest suicide? Does she intend to deny it until the bitter end? Furthermore, I wouldn't have been able to obtain a chemical like Megatoxin X. That may be true, but you could have stolen it from someone else. That reminds me, I met up with Katie a week ago and oh! That night was when I realized that my Megatoxin X was gone. Katie, you couldn't have. Madame Delicia always carried a medicine bag around with her. Anyone could have stolen it. That's right. I don't have any proof that she was the one who stole it. Kate, can't you tell us what you're hiding? I know you're not the kind of person who would hurt someone without a reason. Once you're sealed, you doubt me as well? Setting a trap on one of the gallery's exhibits, and then disguising the rooms. I just think it would have been impossible for anyone but the curator. That's not true. There are no guards or security cameras at this gallery. If any ill-intentioned person wanted to sneak into the gallery, it would have been an easy task for them. Then isn't it like an all-you-can-steal buffet in here? You have to be careful. You never know when a great thief could appear. That is, I mean, yeah. It doesn't sound like a joke when Kay says it. Actually, Monsieur Gustavia apparently entered the gallery before it opened. Well, I'm beat. Looks like Uncle Ray can't do anything to break down Kate's iron guard. This might be a good time to use the technique your old man taught me. The technique? My father taught you? Say what now? Well, first and foremost, he told me to stop eating paper so much. But, you know, after that, this case is deeply connected to the one from 18 years ago. If we just pursue the present case, it may seem like there's a lot we don't understand. But if we try turning things around, there might be a hint in the case from the past. Thinking the other way around. Did my father do that too? For example, just consider the relationship between the past case and Kate. Miss Hall melted Mr. Dover's Sherbert sculptures 18 years ago, and today Mr. Dover's works are on display in this gallery. It can't be she. I see. Now I know what to ask her. That's good to hear. In that case, Uncle Ray will just watch over you as you do your work. Miss Catherine Hall, 18 years ago, it seems that you melted Mr. Dover's Sherbert sculptures. Yes, I was young and inexperienced, and I did something inexcusable. However, isn't that why you were able to open the Zodiac Art Gallery? I don't know what you mean. I don't understand either. Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you committing crimes? Do I need to threaten you again? Do you seek your testimony? Yes, I would like you to tell me about the Zodiac Art Gallery. I'd like to know the reason you decided to open a gallery for Mr. Dover's artwork. If you insist that this is related to the case at hand, I will allow it. Miss Curator, your testimony, if you please, even though we are literally not in court, so... Very well, if that will clear your suspicions about me. Now then, please testify about the Zodiac Art Gallery, or I will bludgeon you. Okay, here we go. 18 years after Monsieur Master was arrested, I was finally able to buy back this mansion. Then, in order to maintain it, I decided to manage it as an art gallery. I collected Pierre Huquet's works from all around over the world. After all, it was my dream to open the Zodiac Art Gallery. I see. It's wonderful that your dream has come true. What do you think, Prosecutor Edgeworth? I don't believe there was anything strange about her testimony. Judge Courtney, I believe in the courtroom. It is standard to cross-examine the witness. Wouldn't you agree it's a little too early to say that there are no contradictions? You speak like a defense attorney. Very well. And that's probably has to do with the fact that we're playing as him for so long. I mean, if we were trying to prove people, like, guilty in a prosecutorial way, it would probably be a much differently themed game. Anyway, very well. Proceed as you please. Alrighty. If and I simply must do so. Alright, so... you were able to buy back the mansion. I get that. I don't see any noteworthy contradictions at the gate, so I think I need to press stuff. Decided to manage it as an art gallery. I'm a press. Are you managing this gallery by yourself? Yes, well, I say manage, but it only opened today. And I must continue protecting this mansion, so that Monsieur Master has a place to return to. So she took back the mansion for Mr. Master's sake. Seems like everything is always that way with her. Hey, I'm so sorry. I was powerless. It's not your fault, Monsieur Shields. I couldn't do anything either. All I can do now is continue to protect the mansion. Alright, well, let's keep pressing stuff. I'm sure something eventually is gonna pop up. Pierre Huquet. That's Mr. Dover's alias, correct? Yes. It's the name he used when he worked as a sculptor in France. About collecting his works. Oop. How did you prepare the Taurus and Gemini sculptures? I heard that Mr. Dover passed away before he completed those two sculptures. I had the sculptures in the Winter Palace specially made, based on the photos I took. Oh? Could you tell us about that in more detail? After all, it was my... wait, what? I prepared replicas of the sculptures in the Winter Palace based on the photos I took. Huh. Okay, but... then wouldn't that mean... oh boy, why couldn't you have been innocent? Did you really think that your excuses would continue to hold up? No matter how much you lie, you can't deny the composition of the sculptures. From the analysis results, it's quite clear that the sculptures in the Winter Palace are the Sherbert sculptures Mr. Dover created. Oh, Miley! As a pharmacist, it's my turn to shine! What we call sugar actually comes in many different varieties and tastes. Even if the sculptures were replicas, it's nearly impossible to replicate the composition. I see. Thank you for the explanation, though I don't recall asking for one. Then, if that's the case, that, Miss Hall, means you couldn't have melted the Sherbert sculptures back then. You stole them and preserved them for 18 years. Ah! What? She preserved the Sherbert for 18 years? How did she manage to do that? She wasn't even allowed in the mansion for all that time. Where in the mansion could she have done that? Huh. If you freeze it properly, it's not impossible. Silence, please. Miss Curator, what do you have to say? I can't believe you've already uncovered so much. So you're admitting that you stole the Sherbert sculptures? You didn't accidentally break them, you stole them? No, I cannot admit to such a thing. There isn't any proof that I stole them, after all. Okay. Also, I couldn't have stolen the sculptures 18 years ago. I don't think they would have been easy to steal without the police noticing. Is that so? I don't know what you did 18 years ago. As such, how can I judge how difficult it would have been to steal them? It looks like you won't give up so easily. I don't intend on giving up until I learn the truth. I understand. Then I shall tell you what I did 18 years ago. All right. I'm admittedly curious. All right, what'd you do? On the day of the incident, I was waiting in the main building until the judging. All right. During the judging, at Monsieur Master's request, I went to change the film and the camera. I remember. But before I could deliver the camera to him, I discovered Monsieur Dover's body. Right. After Monsieur Gregory arrived, I prepared tea for everyone involved in the investigation. It was then that I witnessed Monsieur Gustavia entering Monsieur Dover's room. Okay. And that was everything I had done on that day. I don't think there is anything suspicious about my actions. That's not your decision to make. Mr. Edgeworth, were there any contradictions in her testimony? None that I can really immediately think of, but I can think of something that I'd like to press more on. An opportunity to do something, at least. For now, I should just prove that she stole the sculptures. But when could Miss Hall have stolen them? If I can answer that, her crime should come to light. All right, yeah, I think I know exactly what to press on. The right time and the right place for that situation would definitely be when you were going around with the tea. Yeah. Went to change the film, or I could deliver the camera to him. I discovered the body. After Monsieur Gregory arrived, I prepared tea for everyone. Yeah, all right, can we talk about this just a little bit? Did you do so in the same manner as today? Yes, I poured tea for everyone working on the investigation. Now that you mention it, Uncle Ray also got some tea from you that day. Kate was pushing her service cart back and forth from the patio to the main building. Let me see. Did anything seem strange to you then? Well, I remember your old man singing praises of her Ceylon tea. He also said something about how the saucer was chilled. The saucer was... I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I didn't forget about that part. I actually didn't, but I did not think that it was going to be something that actually was relevant or mattered. All right, yeah, no, I got it. I know what's up. There's a damn sculpture underneath that tarp. Could Miss Hall have stolen the sculptures then? Yeah, she sure as all heck could have. They weren't deliberately chilled. They were just sitting on ice. This was when you stole the Sherbert sculptures. I'm sorry, but Monsieur Shields and company were at the fountain patio the entire time. Are you saying that I stole them in broad daylight? That's precisely what I'm saying. This is where she hid the sculptures to steal them, right under their noses. Right under the dang cart. Damn! Damn, the smug. The people writing these cases. They are damn geniuses. Neither my father nor Mr. Shields realized the sculptures was right in front of them. What you were pushing around was no ordinary service cart. It was the sculpture itself. Yeah! But surely that would still be impossible. If she placed the sculptures on the service cart, people would notice immediately. I never said she used the service cart to move the sculptures. What? What do you mean? Then what did she use to move the sculptures around? Well, wouldn't you want to know? All right. It was in the shot. And this is? This is the lift trolley Mr. Dover used 18 years ago to move his Sherbert sculptures. It seems the same lift trolley lies here on the fountain patio. literally right over there. Kinda hard to argue with that now, huh? That's because it was originally prepared for the contest in the first place. Are you saying she used the lift trolley to move the sculptures? Yes. If the sculptures were placed on the lift trolley and then covered with a tablecloth, well, wouldn't you ding dang gosh darn know it? Ain't nobody gonna figure that one out. It could be disguised as a service cart and moved without arousing suspicion. How could that be? The saucers were chilled because they were sitting on the ice sculptures? You don't seem to have a lot of ways to argue that, huh? Kate, what's the meaning of this? What were you thinking? That was truly impressive. You certainly are, Monsieur Gregory's son. After 18 years, it's hard to imagine any proof that I stole the sculptures remaining. But I knew it was only a matter of time until I was suspected. Miss Curator, does this mean you admit to stealing the sculptures? Yes, I admit it. 18 years ago, I stole the Sherbert sculptures from Monsieur Dover's room. It's just as Monsieur Edgeworth says. I disguised the lift trolley as a service cart, and I served tea as I made my way back and forth. That wasn't all. I also took the ice block with all the star clusters on it. An ice block with star clusters on it? That seems familiar. Yep, that definitely stands to reason. A giant block of ice is being displayed here. It appears to be quite heavy. No, the inside must be hollow. The Winter Palace is a reproduction of Mr. Dover's room from 18 years ago. Because they had melted, my father never got the chance to see them. But those blocks of ice were also originally from Dover's Sherbert Salon. The 2 sculptures and the 2 blocks of ice, I took everything I could. And then I placed empty glass cases in Monsieur Dover's room. The sculptures were all encased in glass to preserve their fine details, but the ice blocks were being displayed as they were. As per the rules, we prepared the glass cases for Mr. Dover. So it would have been easy for her to prepare the glass cases. In Monsieur Dover's rooms, there were some sculptures that were still unfinished. I thought if I melted them, it would look like the ones I stole had melted too. So, everything you see in the Winter Palace are all originally works from 18 years ago. Miss Hall, it didn't take much to get her to confess. Then she must know. She knows it isn't enough to try her in court. This is all I have to say. But, even though I admit to stealing the sculptures, you can't arrest me for it. What? What do you mean by that? I get the overwhelming impression that, much like extraterritorial rights, we're about to get very firmly acquainted with another legal practice. Heavens! You're assisting an investigation without knowing this much? Perhaps you should read this book concerning the statute of limitations. Aw, it's got a kitty cat. Statute of limitations? Yeah, apparently if you don't solve a crime in enough time, it becomes legal. So, it's basically a super duper prize for criminals. If they can get away with it for like, you know, a couple decades, they get off scot-free forever. And even if we can prove it, it doesn't matter anymore. It's a really stupid system. To put it simply, it's the time frame in which a suspect can be taken to court. You can see it on this page. Ah, all right. 15 years for murder and 7 for theft. The statute of limitations for murder is 15 years, and for theft it's 7 years. Ah! So basically, in the Phoenix Wright universe, if you can get away with murder for 15 years, you get away scot-free and can even start admitting it to people. Ah! That's right. And Miss Hall's theft was 18 years ago, so yeah, there ain't nothing we can do about that. According to the statute, she cannot be arrested for stealing the sculptures. So that's how it is. Stealing evidence from a crime scene is an unforgivable offense. But I literally can't do anything about it, so all is forgiven. However, for this crime at least, we have no right to pass judgment. Life's a beach. It appears that Prosecutor Edgeworth's tepid reasoning has all been for naught.
Objection!
No. Smug, smug, smug. I wonder about that. I deduced Miss Hull's action simply to expose a different crime. If she only took the sculptures, we wouldn't have found the body from 18 years ago. Are you saying that I hid Monsieur Dover's body? That's correct. But how can someone hide a body for 18 years? I would imagine it would be very... Oh my God. Oh! Okay, no. I think I know why the ice sculpture cried tears of blood. Oh! Would imagine it would be very difficult under normal circumstances. So you're saying the circumstances weren't normal? Are you claiming that you know where the body was hidden? When you consider Miss Hull's action, the answer becomes obvious. 18 years ago, Miss Hull stole something more than just Sherbert's sculptures. If you're so confident, I'd like to hear your answer. I mean, I don't know if I'm right, but it's what I'm gonna go with. All right, let me see here. Is this the right thing? Oh, well, this is an unpleasant sight. This is the photograph of Mr. Dover's sculptures? Yes. And perhaps you've noticed that the victim's body can be seen in this picture? I do not see it. Please point it out clearly. Oh boy, where in this picture can one see the body of the victim? I mean, the only place that it could ever possibly actually be is obviously inside the torch. No. Take that. Dear God, he was made into his own art. The Gemini sculpture? Yes. While it may look like the Gemini sculpture at first glance, in reality, this is none other than Isaac Dover himself. This ice sculpture was the victim's body? But all I can see from this picture is an ice sculpture statue. That's because a certain piece of evidence was used to conceal it. Another stolen piece of evidence. Conceal it? Which piece of evidence did Miss Hull use to conceal the body? She just nabbed everything! This is the cloth that was covering the sculptures in the Autumn Palace. The very same. This cloth manipulates light. With it, it's entirely possible to make something look like ice. Isn't that right, Alicia? Yes, see? When it glows red, it's like a raging inferno. And when it glows blue, you can almost feel the glittering cool ice. Why are you overruling me? I'm right. The cloth will only emit a light when it's attached to a special device. Yes, and I have it. Judge Courtney, look closely at the picture one more time. Beneath the Gemini case lies a box-shaped object attached to the pedestal. Ta-da. This is a rainbow light device. Detective Gumshoe reported one in the Winter Palace. Interesting, that. I'm sorry, that's just legitimately creepy as all hell that was a corpse the entire time. It's the device that went missing 18 years ago. Originally, it would have been attached to the cloth inside the glass case. Naturally, Miss Hull took the device with her when she moved the sculptures. By using the rainbow light device to make the fluorescent cloth glow. Mr. Dover's body was made to look like an ice sculpture. Yeah, that's ridiculous! And yet it's probably the truth. This is the Ace Attorney franchise, where anything is possible. So then, when Uncle Ray took a photo of the Winter Palace, that's right, the body had been in front of us all along, disguised as Gemini. Not as Gemini Man. I know we're Capcom, but not that way. However, the body and the fluorescent cloth were both discovered in the fountain. If the ice sculpture was the body, we would have found it in the Winter Palace. If we had found it there, her trick would have been revealed immediately. Miss Hull moved the body out of the Winter Palace to prevent us from discovering it. Absurd. You say she threw the body into the fountain without any of us noticing? No, Judge Courtney. There was no need for that. She simply used the same method as before. Remember the lift trolley? She moved the body to some other room and dumped it into the stream to the fountain, where it just flowed on in. Naturally, the frozen body would have sunk to the bottom of the fountain. That's why the cloth floated up first and was found by Delicia. And eventually, the body thawed out and floated to the surface. Catherine, please tell me you weren't such an unbelievably large fan of Isaac Dover, or, you know, the actual name of the guy, that you preserved his corpse as a memento. Please tell me that's not a thing. Monsieur Edgeworth, you truly have a gift for deductive reasoning. However, do you have any proof that I moved the body? Yes, I do. If you cannot prove that, then there's no way I can accept with what you are saying. Wasn't there anyone who saw Miss Hall move the body? Yes, I believe such a person exists. The answers lie in the heart of battle, in the evidence that person gave me. And that piece of evidence will reveal the truth of Miss Hall's action. Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you able to provide the crime of Miss Curator? Or prove it, I meant? Certainly. I have evidence that will show exactly what she did. Then, it's time we see your answer. Which piece of evidence reveals Miss Curator's actions? Larry, being a pervert, saves the day again. Weirdly. It's odd this has happened more than once. Another sketch? Oh. It appears I have been drawn in this one. I don't recall consenting to that. I believe I might actually be able to make that be a problem for Larry, actually. This is a sketch Larry drew of the women at the fountain patio. I'd like to direct your attention to the service cart on the left side of the sketch. Service cart? What about it? Don't you see? What transpired 18 years ago has happened again. Miss Hall was moving the body in this sketch. No! The very same. Please, wait. I don't see Monsieur Dover's body anywhere in that drawing. All I did was hand out chocolates to everyone. The key detail in this sketch is the color of the tablecloth. Up until now, I thought Larry had just made a mistake. The tablecloth. It's light blue. It may be light blue in the sketch, but no tablecloths exist in this mansion. Perhaps it's light blue because the body was hidden, still glowing underneath the tablecloth. But the lift trolley is rectangular in the sketch. If she just placed the body in the lift trolley, we would have noticed it immediately. There were 2 blocks of ice in the Winter Palace that are completely hollowed out. If she put the body inside the block of ice, it would look like a service cart. That's insane, perhaps, but the truth nonetheless. Miss Hall, you put the body in the block of ice and used the lift trolley to move it, didn't you? I never imagined you would be able to do so much from a single sketch. But what if it was just a mistake, like you said before? It doesn't prove anything. I agree that alone this sketch is worthless. Once you removed the body, the service cart would revert back to a lift trolley. That's why the lift trolley was left behind in the fountain patio. And without the service cart, there would be no place for you to put your chocolates. The chocolates I gave everyone? Until then, the chocolates had sat on top of the service cart as you gave them away. But when you gave them to us, you took them from your pocket. And they were melty. Now that you mention it, they were a bit melted. They were still really sweet and tasty. So why was it necessary to put them in your pocket halfway through? That's because once the body was disposed of, you no longer had a service cart. Hold it right there. If she put the chocolates in her pocket and left the lift trolley in the patio, then where did the tablecloth go? If she had been forced to put the chocolates in her pockets, she wouldn't have had time to dispose of the tablecloth. Prosecutor Edgeworth, can you answer that for me? The tablecloth wasn't hidden. It's right in front of us. Do clarify. The tablecloth used to hide the body. Where is it now? Inside the fountain, outside of the patio. Well, it would make the most sense if she was holding on to it, honestly. Smug, smug, smug. Isn't it obvious? Miss Hall is carrying it with her out in the open. Out in the open? You mean, Miss Hall, you are wearing the tablecloth around your waist! The block of ice was not encased in a glass case. In other words, the tablecloth was in direct contact with the block of ice. If we have it examined, we will undoubtedly find traces of sherbet on it. Miss Hall, you will turn your tablecloth over to the police at once. There's no need to examine the tablecloth. It is just as you say. I stole the poison from Madame Delicia, and I moved the body. Kate. I have done terrible things. Madame Delicia, I'm so sorry. 1 week ago, I took your Megatoxin X bottle. I slipped it into that man's pocket to make it look like suicide. And if they suspected it was murder, the evidence would point to Madame Delicia. Katie? Kate, what were you thinking? Weren't we always trying to save Mr. Master together? I could not let myself be arrested. Not until I had proved Monsieur Master's innocence. From the very beginning, I'd planned to turn myself in once everything was over. But I suppose it's too late to say that now. Kate, why? Why would you go this far? Even for Monsieur Shields, I've caused nothing but trouble. For the past 18 years, I've been a criminal. The IS-7 incident. Don't tell me that you were the true culprit. My greatest crime was stealing the sherbet sculptures for my own selfish interests. When Monsieur Dover died, they were no longer just ordinary sculptures. They'd become the final works of the sculptor Monsieur Master so deeply loved. What if they melted before Monsieur Master returned? With that in mind, I couldn't let anyone touch them, not even the police. Even though I knew it was wrong, I moved them to the mansion's freezer. However, I only wanted to preserve Monsieur Dover's art. I did not know his body was hidden among them. But you didn't? So she stole the sculptures without noticing the body. Monsieur Master would never take another person's life. But because of me, the body vanished and Monsieur Master was found guilty. I'm actually very sad right now. That kind man, he treated someone like me as family. He meant more to me than anyone else, and yet... Kate. When Monsieur Master was found guilty, I was chased out of this mansion. I was finally able to reclaim the mansion just a few days ago, but when I saw the sculpture still sleeping away in the freezer, I realized that I was the one who hid Monsieur Dover's body. However, the statute of limitations had already expired. Therefore, I could think of no other way to atone for my sins. That does explain a lot. It appears I have misunderstood her. It seems she caused this entire incident in order to save Mr. Master. What you think about, Mr. Edgeworth? There's one thing that has been bothering me this whole time. Why would Miss Hall plan a murder with such an uncertain method like poison gas? And the reason she disguised the Autumn Palace to look like the Winter Palace was to make those involved in the incident 18 years ago confuse the two rooms. I wonder what Kay was trying to accomplish. She was trying to prove Mr. Master's innocence. In that case, Miss Hall's true objective was... I mean, it had to have been to find the true culprit. Perhaps she was trying to find the true culprit? Miss Hall, were you trying to prove Mr. Master's innocence? You wanted to reveal the true culprit and have the police find the body from 18 years ago. Was that not your true goal? By displaying those sculptures, you'd attract those involved in the past incident. Only two people would know where the body was hidden. You and the true culprit. That's what Gustavia was doing in there. The culprit would have panicked knowing that the body would be displayed publicly. Yes. And if the culprit really showed up, there's the risk that they'd erase their tracks. In the worst case scenario, they might have even stolen the body. So how could she protect the evidence while simultaneously luring in the culprit? I see. That's why she made the Autumn Palace look like the Winter Palace. Yes. And then, Miss Hall, you must have thought, whoever opened the Pisces case, believing it to be the Gemini case, must be the true culprit of the IS-7 incident. If so, well played, honestly. Wow. What? But that means that person is the true culprit? Please wait a moment, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Do you realize what you're saying? Do you intend to accuse that person of being the culprit behind the IS-7 incident? I do, and I'm also going to very quickly bring up the fact that it doesn't even matter because it was 18 years ago and the statute of limitations was 15 years ago. This is going to be a massive problem. Oh no! Miss Hall was trying to trap the true culprit. If so, wouldn't the person who fell for that trap be the true culprit? However, I have no evidence to back up my claims. If I make a formal accusation without any proof, it will not end well. Should I announce the true killer of Isaac Dover? I mean, if I don't, literally nothing is going to even happen. You gotta take the risk. What I should do is reveal the truth. In that case, there is no need to hesitate. Smug, smug, smug. Yes, that's correct, Judge Courtney. I indict this person as the true culprit behind the IS-7 incident. Dane Gustavia! Dane Gustavia, who fell victim to the poison gas, is the true culprit of the IS-7 incident? Gusty is? Mr. Gustavia. Miss Hall, didn't you believe that if you opened this gallery, the true culprit would come? That's why you set up the poison gas trap, is it not? You truly have a gifted mind, just like your father. It is as you say, Monsieur Edgeworth. Now, would you please tell us the whole truth? Yes. I have nothing more to hide. I will tell you everything. I set a trap in the gallery to find the true culprit. Before the gallery opened, I left only the Autumn Palace unlocked. At opening time, when I went around to unlock each room, I discovered that the Autumn Palace had been locked from the inside. I knew that the true culprit was on the other side of the door. My hand was trembling. All that was left was for the trap to do its work. When I heard Monsieur Gustavia was exposed to the poison gas, I realized he was the culprit. And I thought that if the police discovered Monsieur Dover's body, it would prove Monsieur Master's innocence. Why didn't you ever come talk to me? There might have been another way. I know that you did everything you could for me over the past 18 years. However, all of this had been brought on by my own crime. That's why I wanted to save Monsieur Master as soon as possible. Kate. Not only that, the police hid the fact that the body went missing 18 years ago. Even if I reported the body, there was a chance that the truth would be hidden again. That's why I caused the incident at the museum's opening with as many witnesses as possible. Holy crap, she's actually completely right! The system is so busted, this was literally the only way she could have done it! Oh my god! No, wait, unless I'm missing something, she actually did need to do this! If she wanted the oh my actual god. I'm sorry. Gregory, Mr. Master, and even you. I couldn't protect anyone. Mr. Shields. It must be tough on him as well. The one who should be apologizing is me. Monsieur Edgeworth, Monsieur Shields, I'm terribly sorry. I shall accept whatever punishment I am given. However, I must ask of you, please clear Monsieur Master's name. That's all it was for. The truth that was hidden for 18 years was revealed in an unexpected manner. However, to think that things would end this way. Oh my god. This case. It's not even the final case. How could a case with this much backstory, this much intrigue, this much past referencing to prior events that we knew about, how can all of this just... Oh my god, how is this a middle case? This game is gonna be the end of me, oh my god! Ah!